welcome back, everyone. My name is Joshua Fekesquest. I am here with Reed Rapid Melton for game number 2 in this best of 3 series between University of Massachusetts and McMaster University. McMaster, they kind of they seemed like they were going to be evened up at about 15 minutes in, but then McMaster just went off Rapid.
That is very true, Fekes. And coming in here to game number 2, there are a couple of things to watch for to make sure that that game stays as even as it was starting out. One of those two might be securing a strong mid lane pick for X-Tray. He had some struggles, and those struggles not only put him behind, but Nito got really ahead. The AD carry matchup might be something that they want to leverage a little bit more for University of Massachusetts. They did not have a great time in that matchup, or they did have a great time in the matchup that they then were never able to do anything with. So maybe that's the champion, maybe it's the player, maybe it's the team needing to bring things together. But one thing's for sure, we're not going to see any Katarina out there. We're not going to see any Orianna, really focusing X-Tray's champion pool. And with no Rengar ban, that means that there's no question first pick there for McMaster.
Yeah, it was, Trundle was actually banned in place of Rengar along with actually the Orianna. So those two, excuse me, those two being reactionary bans from last game. And now that does leave Rengar wide open. It was insta-locked by Django from McMaster University. We're going to see what Han Solo can do with Django. I'm very anxious. He was extremely aggressive on Ivern, who I wouldn't think would be as aggressive considering he doesn't have too much of an offensive kit to early on, especially against a Lee Sin. He really had no problem. But now on the other side, you were talking about X-Tray needing a different, maybe a little bit stronger of a mid laner. Syndra would be that strong mid laner.
Very definitely true. Syndra, pretty classically strong, even from the last few patches. Just has been super, super good in the mid lane. The ability to push one button and unless you're exhausted, just pretty much delete someone has a few strengths to it, contrary to popular opinion. So that's going to be a very early lock-in on the mid lane. And for X-Tray, that might just be desperately trying to grab a strong champion because so much of his pool's been banned out.
Right.
It does leave him open for counter pick. And I mean, even with just the Rengar out there, that is going to be a lane to keep an eye on to make sure that he doesn't just get blown up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and let's talk about Syndra for just a little bit longer. The recent patch actually changed her W a little bit. Besides Unleash Power, they did change that to actually give it a 120-second cooldown at level 1 instead of 100 seconds. So, at level 3, it still evens out. But Force of Will used to be able to grab 3 of her Dark Spheres, throw them onto people. But now, instead of doing that, whenever you upgrade it and throw the sphere onto an enemy champion, actually does 20% bonus true damage now. So that could be a huge factor. You can't get that big spread of stuns from Scatter the Weak now, but you do get 20% true damage on Force of Will. It's pretty strong.
True damage works pretty well for me. So let's actually take a look at a couple of other things here. Janna, not going to be given to one true Berry. Taken away, so no more Janna mechanics for you. We're going to see that Janna now picked early on as a support. I don't know about that, but what it could set up for is what we like to refer to as the shield comp. There's a hover on that Urgot. If it's locked in, okay, man, let's get my hopes up. So you can do Urgot shields, Lee Sin shields, Janna shields, and then mix some other shields in there, maybe some Karma shields, and it's just so annoying to deal with. That's not what we're going to be seeing. I'm a little disappointed, but of course, Caitlyn for the Upclouds did have a good performance in lane in game 1. We'll have to see if he can convert it into kills here in game number 2.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm actually excited for the bot lane again. And yeah, Upclouds on Caitlyn again. Dearest Andy locking in the Janna for Kira instead of the Malzahar. We're now going to see that Malzahar pick this time. I don't think they got the effectiveness that they wanted to in that early game. Like I said, you're supposed to really snowball once you hit level 6, especially with the Nether Grasp and the Caitlyn traps underneath. But they are going to completely deny that one. And the Thresh locked in before. I think the Thresh was locked in after Janna, but. Yeah, Thresh can interrupt those things very well, too. So they just want to completely abandon the Malzahar Caitlyn bot lane. But sticking with Caitlyn and also sticking with Lee Sin in the mid lane. But over on the other side, once you're Berry locking in the Shin. I have not seen a Shin in so long. I'm so excited that it is a huge global presence for Django to use. And if we know anything about Django from the first game, he can take advantage of every little downtime from the everyone focusing their time on a different lane. He'll just split push the entire time, but now he has a way to get back into the team fight really fast.
Yeah, Shen, I wouldn't say it's completely unexpected. It fits in with the tanky top lane meta that we're seeing. Certainly not right way up there with things like, Camille that we're seeing, like the upper echelon, or even some of the biggest super tanks. But it does have, like you mentioned, that global presence, the additional support for your team, and maybe looking to head down to the bottom lane and support Autumn Clouds. Maybe looking to support Nito in the mid lane, make sure he doesn't have too much of a trouble with X-Tray's Syndra, which will be a big change from that Xerath that he played in game number 1. But the biggest thing for me is going to be what we saw early on in our first game. That's going to be the jungle top lane synergy, as now we have a Gnar picked for Wordy, who we did ask and clarify that we are supposed to say it Wordy instead of War Toy or something really weird or strange like that.
Yeah.
He's going to be playing Gnar into Shen, which is traditionally a pretty rough counter. Maybe not early on, where Shen will be able to kind of take that up, but man, as that hyper gets going, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, I really like the team comp coming out from University of Massachusetts. We're gonna see how that one turns out, and of course, let's talk about Nito in the mid lane with Ryze. Has just another global presence with his ultimate now. Can group people up, teleport them into a pretty large range, especially if it's a team fight you need to get into or somebody you need to save immediately. You can get in there very quickly with the Ryze. Have Shin in there too. He can still has teleport, still has Stand United. That's a very huge presence on the entire Rift from McMaster University. We're going to really rely on their skill to out-rotate University of Massachusetts, just like they did in game number 1, and to see if they can do that even more. We're going to see how that one turns out. But the timer is counting down. I think we're actually going to give a shout out to our sponsors this time around. We should have last time, but going to do it this time as well for the countdown here. Band Gaming, I already explained Band Gaming, but I'm going to do it again. It's social app and primary social app for CSL. Join us at join the CSL community at band.us/@CStarLeague, and I'll do the Twitch one as well. They're back with us again, so thank you for watching us on Twitch, and thank you Twitch for partnering with us. Has supported us for quite a few years now, and still glad to see them hanging on with us.
And of course, last but not least, we want to welcome Asus back to the CSL family for this 2017 season. They provide everything from for esports, for like Chromebooks, monitors, laptops, routers, graphics cards, motherboards, and a whole lot else there. So big thanks to the Asus Republic of Gamers, and I do want to thank them for continuing to support collegiate esports by being a part of the CSL's broadcast of the ULoL Campus Series for yet another fantastic season. So that's going to do it for our sponsors. We certainly do want to also thank every one of you all for coming out and tuning in to this, our first CSL broadcast of the ULoL Campus Series. We're about to head into game number 2 of McMaster University versus University of Massachusetts, who do need to take this game to hang on here in our first week of broadcast. So we're going to head out to a quick short break, and when we come back, we'll have that second game of the night coming your way. Game number 2 is coming up.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.
Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Joshua Fekes Quest here with Reed, Raff, and Melton for game number 2 in this best of 3 between University of Massachusetts, Amherst, and McMaster University. McMaster University taking game number 1. University of Massachusetts looking to keep this one going.
That's absolutely right, Fekes. And now for game number 2, we're not only swapping sides, but we're swapping a few very, very key champions. Of course, the biggest one for me is going to be that Janna. How well does One True Berry Berry now function on Thresh? A very different play style. We'll have to keep an eye down there in the bottom lane. He looked great on Janna. Of course, now we get to see Kira's Janna, how well that works out. Also, we've got to keep an eye on the mid lane. X-Tray still very unproven in his ability to play something other than Katarina and Orianna, his two go-to mid lane champions. So do need to keep an eye on him versus Nito, a guy who just went off on Orianna in game number 2. And of course, that jungle top lane synergy will be very important, as that was where University of Massachusetts Amherst found a lot of their strength in game number 1.
Yeah, and that's good. Dear Sandy, he's second time on Lee Sin, and yeah, he did great early game, but it was just a little bit too much for him to handle going into the mid game, as the rest of the lanes kind of started to fall apart, as Han Solo was very aggressive with his jungling, able to take away quite a bit of Dear Sandy's farm, but let's see how that one goes this time. He's on an even more aggressive jungler this time in the Rengar. I'm really anxious to see, if he gets going, he probably, based on his play last game, will not stop.
Certainly does appear likely, Fekes. Of course, what does all appear likely is that we're going to have to keep an eye on Han Solo's Rengar beyond just the early game, where you did start to, accelerate. It's about where you finish, and he certainly did finish super, super strong. What's the impact that he's going to have on the rest of the lanes? He's on a very different style of jungler. Rengar does things a little bit differently. What I'm excited for is going to be not only just the individual play, but how he synergizes, not just in lane with Shen, but is he going to try to pull off some of those like submarine mechanics? It'll be cool to watch out for. Of course, interesting to see how these junglers do want to play this early game. So Lee Sin's gone for faster buffs, but less overall experience, whereas now Han Solo is just now clearing his red buff, and it's just clearing out the entire jungle on his way, making his way downtown, all the way to those Krugs, which he might and probably will opt to take.
Yeah, we saw Nito going to hitting the back key, but he's not going to yet. He wants to back as early as possible to get that tier, the goddess. Try to charge that up as fast as possible, but he decided to stay a little bit longer. Dear Sandy was making his way to the mid lane. I actually think he had a ward there. That might have been why Nito was backing, just to kind of fake him out a little bit, but he's going back to the mid lane. Dear Sandy, I think he understands that there's a ward there now. He's going to avoid trying to gank mid lane right now. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Wordy goes gets the Gnars out, I guess it's called, goes into Mega Gnar form already early on, so gonna get a little bit of that presence in the top lane. It's pretty even in the top lane right now. They're staying right in the middle of the lane, and no jungler has went up there to try to gank yet.
That is very true. We're only about 4 minutes into the game, so you do have to watch out for that, 3-minute gank timing. And with the jungle changes, you're going to see different gank timings come out. And I'm not even sure that the jungle is done being changed, but at least for the time being, we are going to see some minor differences. One of the biggest differences, at least in 7.1, is that the jungle camps now no longer give quite as much experience. I don't know if you guys were watching the EU Challenger Series qualifiers, but a couple of times we saw junglers get a 2-minute level 3. It's just ridiculous. They come down and gank a level 1 bottom lane, and it's just insane how effective that is. Now you can't do that unless you're running experience quints on your junglers, so don't generally want to do that. So no longer a strategy that is out there, and you do have to consider how that will change the way the junglers do interact. And it almost looked like we were going to have junglers interact with the rest of the players in the game, but unfortunately, not going to see that. It's
been a very tame game so far. No jungler interaction. Dear Sandy tried to make it. He approached mid lane, but hasn't really done anything. Just like he's doing now, just kind of making a drive-by. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there's a hook onto the up clouds. Exhaust goes down onto both ADCs. Up clouds, he's quite low. Has to use flash and his heal. Autumn Clouds follows as well, throwing the flash down, but saves his heal. Doesn't get the kill though, and now the Up Clouds, he's underneath his turret, he's safe, but with no summoner spells. Oh no, hold on now. Now there's a gank. Dear Sandy in the top lane. Django dodged through with the taunt and go back to safety. So very nice map awareness, nice play from Django getting out of harm's way.
Yeah, Django also taunted directly through the creep wave. That meant that the Sonic wave follow-up was just not going to, come through. Did avoid that successfully. Didn't have to blow a summoner spell, so very well played there. And that's the first gank of the game. So, all right, we got it out of the way. We're good to go. And now we get a chance to, yeah, I know. I'm always a little bit scared of the first gank because, at least as a caster, if you don't see that one coming and you don't see it set up, maybe it just happens out of nowhere and then you miss something. Alternatively, it can't just go horribly wrong and then it just ends the lane right there. So, lots to keep an eye on. And right now it's Rengar.
Let's look at the big difference right now in between junglers. Look at the farm right now, 42-20. Han Solo has been non-stop farming. I believe even taking some of Dearest Andy. Dearest Andy, he's been trying to gank. He hung around mid twice for a drive-by one time. Didn't really do anything there. Went to the top lane gank, but it's just been wasting his time because he hasn't been A, getting farm, B, getting kills, and that set him back quite a bit. Now Han Solo, he's at level 6. He's ready to gank.
Yeah, it should be noted that one of the reasons that discrepancy is so big is because Rengar is really good at doing the Krugs, and those actually pop off and spawn little tiny Krugs, and every single one of those gives you CS. So he's done Krugs, I think, 3 times, and that's going to massively inflate your CS when it doesn't really give you, all things are definitely not equal. So it's going to look a little bit weird, but it's not going to be the biggest difference. Andy will still hit level 6 here. I think he's about halfway there right now. So yeah, he's a little bit behind, but he's not actually just like massively behind, even though the CS might look that way.
Here's Andy, though. He's still not level 6, so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, you're right. The Krugs, I mean, they still do give a little experience. And that was actually what you were mentioning earlier, how a jungler would gank bot lane at level 3 when the bot lane was still level 1. Krugs was a part of that formula. They did tone that down quite a bit. But still, Han Solo taking advantage of it. Like you said, a Rengar, he can just take those out so fast. And now taking advantage of that one, getting himself a huge lead. Dearest Andy now level 6, maybe looking to gank. He is hanging out around the bot lane turret. He's not even underneath it, he's just hanging out around it. Gonna try something cheeky here.
Interestingly enough, Han Solo did not opt to, grab a control ward on one of his backs, and he is going to go for this counter jungle. Now he's still able to do that because he knows he's got greater strength, but here comes the first Stand United of the game.
Yeah, Stand United onto the Dragon's Rage kick is going to be good down there, and that is first blood going over to Django. Exhaust going down onto Dearest Andy. Wordy is actually down there as well. Curtain call from the back lines, but a double kill coming out for Django. This is McMaster just destroying them, outplaying them at every turn here. And now,
oh my god.
Oh, he's about to gnar out, so he's going to get that extra health. But now X-Tray in the bot lane. Nito falling now as well, who actually picked up a kill onto X-Tray even after Unleashed Power. It's not going to be enough for it. X-Tray is not that powerful yet. And that is 3 clean kills in the bot lane for McMaster. Meanwhile, Han Solo has just been in top lane taking out his turret.
Yeah, and disaster strikes from across the map there for University of Massachusetts Amherst. They didn't read the level 6 assistance there from Django coming down with that Stand United. They did Stand United, not only just with the ultimate, but as a team, the roam down from Nito to add the and 1 to give not 1, but 3 kills over to McMaster University. And while it might have looked even and close in game number 1 early on, certainly does not here in game number 2, where not only the individual champions, the players, but also the entire team of McMaster just really flipped that on switch early on.
And now Django, he still has his teleport. Like I said, he used the Stand United to go bot, and since Han Solo pushed up the top wave so much, he doesn't have to teleport immediately to that top lane. He can actually roam around, which looks like he's going to make his way to the mid lane. There's a Rune Prison onto X-Tray, but did end up flashing out of the taunt from Django. So very nice counterplay by X-Tray, but still the pressure is hugely on for University of Massachusetts. They need to capitalize on something here. They need to find something, an opening somewhere to get back into this game early on.
Yeah, I would like to point out that Nito could have secured that kill for Han Solo coming in the mid lane, but he only has 1 point in his Rune Prism, so the duration very, very low, and that allowed X-Tray to just barely flash out in the nick of time. Just honorable mention out there. But even still, Survival is survival, X-Ray staying alive, and will be very useful as the game does draw on. However, things might start to get a little bit out of control. Django starting to get crazy tanky, and that means that Gnar will not necessarily be a good counter to him in lane. While he might be able to win the 1v1, as that Hyper starts to get more and more effective, I mean, Shen's just going to do what Shen does across the map. He doesn't even have to win his own lane. He can help other lanes win. So it's going to be a rough job there for Wordy. We'll see what he can do, and really just looking for any signs of life here from this University of Massachusetts Amherst, either individually or together as a team.
True Beery taking quite a bit of damage. He doesn't need to take any of that. He got into the face of the up clouds. He did take quite a bit. He has some biscuits though to rely on, so he's gonna be fine overall. But yeah, you were mentioning Django. Yeah, the Shin. It's gonna be so hard for University of Massachusetts to deal with right now, especially a 2-0-1 Shin this early on. He's already got Sunfire Cape going very heavily in his favor, but it looks like Wordy is gonna try to. I call that a reverse kite, kind of, because he's trying to Django's trying to run away, but you're Gnar, so you're annoying. You can just keep up with the Hyper, but he's going to just back off, sidestep ward. It's probably best anyways. Meanwhile, a little bit of vision being thrown down by McMaster around the dragon. They may be looking for a gank in the bot lane, as both Han Solo and Nito making their way toward that area. Maybe.
They certainly are. For Han Solo, really, he's really the one that I'm looking for to start to get the snowball. It's important to stack up that Bone Tooth necklace, and he's going to look for it in the mid lane. Oh my god! And
he gets it even under turret shots. And yeah, that's one kill already underneath his belt, and he didn't even land everything. He missed the bola strike, and he took some turret shots. It wasn't extremely clean, but it was efficient enough to take out a squishy mid laner.
Bottom lane though with a hook.
Yeah, bottom lane with a hook, but the Monsoon from Kira going to completely negate any sort of engage that just came out. But you cannot negate a curtain call. You can't miss the shots, though. No, alright, never mind. It's enough to kill Kira. So the last shot with the crit did end up picking the kill onto Kira. Not able to dodge that one, so kill picked up for Autumn Clouds.
Wow, really seeing the synergy start to click everywhere across the map. We've got synergy in the bottom lane, hook into a nice Jhin ultimate to pick up a kill there. We finally had the synergy work in the mid lane between Han Solo and Nito, who was able to get in there. Minor correction earlier, I think I'm stuck on Old Rise, where his Rune Prism scaled, or the duration scaled with the rank. It doesn't do that anymore. It scales with whether or not you have the flux on them, so forget everything I said earlier. That's the way it is now. Pay no attention to the man behind the mirror. Or I guess it's the curtain. I'm not actually behind a curtain, but regardless, yeah, nice to see the synergy working out across the map, and really just the strong getting stronger here as University of Massachusetts continue to struggle. The strong points that they had in game number 1 really just aren't there anymore. They don't have the up clouds with a 20 CS advantage in lane at the 13-minute mark, and they're continuing to struggle mid, where X-Tray's champion pool just does not seem to be serving him adequately enough.
Nah, McMaster, they're running away from this one. They're going to get the blue buff over to X-Tray because he's still Syndra, and Syndra can still ramp up and cause them an extraordinary amount of damage, so I'm going to try to not completely write off this game right now. And of course you don't want to write off. It's game number 1 in the, although I should say broadcasted, the first broadcasted game of the ULoL campus series, but it is their first game of the entire season right now for the ULoL campus series. But you don't want to just write off any sort of game. They do build up. It is game number 1. You can kind of learn from this one, say, alright, we did this one, we can get into game number 2, but still, you want to try to your best to win every game as much as possible. McMaster doing that very much. Han Solo, he's in the bot lane. Kira, he's going to go down. Han Solo picking up that kill. Curtain call coming out, up the clouds. He has vision, he has to flash, but it's going to be a hop and a skip claw from Han Solo picking up that kill underneath the turret. So 8-0 in favor of McMaster. They pick up the first turret. They are now 26.3k to 20.1k. They have a huge lead right now.
And Feck has one Bone Tooth necklace, only 1 stack away from being fully stacked up there at 5 kills on each of the unique champions. That would give him 20 plus 20% of his bonus attack damage, or of the bonus attack damage that he does have. He's starting to get insanely strong. He's already up at 221 AD. Oh my god, he has the most damage in the game, and with a picturesque hook.
Yeah,
One True Berry is going to click in with the 9th kill.
Nito throwing out that Realm Warp, going to get got One True Berry and Nito right in position of X-Tray. He actually did have a flash, he used it, but with a nice hook. And of course, the Rune Prison going to lock him down quite a bit longer. He feels comfortable, so going to go down. And the Cloud Dragon going over to McMaster University a little bit earlier than the last game that they took the first dragon, so they have complete control of the map. Why not just take the dragon, even if it's a Cloud Dragon? The next dragon could be a little bit better. And every objective counts right now.
Certainly does. This has actually been a remarkably non-objective focused game early on. It's one of the things the University of McMaster did to kind of pull things back from being even into solidly their favor. This game has all been about kills, and even though that's maybe strategically a little bit less, I don't know, well developed, I just like seeing a lot of kills. That's what Rengar works well with. That's what the Shen has been able to facilitate with all these Stand Uniteds, and it's just really playing with this team comp. I love it. Lots of action. It certainly makes a little bit of a warm feeling in my heart, Fekez, to be back at it again with more collegiate esports where we can witness blood spectacles like this.
Yeah, when Rengar is involved, there's always going to be blood. You were talking about the differences in playstyle of Ivern and Rengar. One of the differences is that Ivern, sets his friends free, and then Rengar kills them. I don't even think he eats them; he just kills them, because Cho'Gath eats things, and it's in his kit. He eats them. He grows larger. Rengar doesn't do that. He just knifes them up. They disappear. I don't even think he doesn't eat them. He's a cat. I don't know what his diet is. He's probably a vegetarian. He just has really sharp claws.
Well, what he does do is he takes their claws and adds them to his bone tooth necklace.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's like a predator. He's just a collector. He doesn't eat them. He doesn't do it. He just collects their parts. Right?
Yeah, I wish there was a way to tell exactly which champion he does still need to kill. I was taking a look at that, but I don't. Yeah, I think he has not been up there. I was not paying total attention to that, so you need to see if he can find that final bone tooth necklace. Luckily enough, with Gnar, he actually has several bones on him, so he'll be able to take any one of those. He's going to go in there and start to get that damage down.
Dear Sandy, he gets on the front lines, though. Needs to be careful. Stand United coming out from Django. Nito in there as well, but University of Massachusetts, they know they don't want that.
I looked a little confused there. I mean, if Han Solo goes in and is going to get that Shen ult, you got to stay in order to allow that effectiveness to come through. Now with Shen coming all the way down, that's just going to make the top lane maybe a little bit vulnerable. Nice Shen ult, though. Keep AD carry safe.
One True Berry, he's in trouble, but there's the Rengar ultimate. We hear the growl, and that's going to be the kill. Even exhaust going down onto him. He still gets a massive amount of health from that Triumphant Roar, I believe it's called. Might be something else. Forgive me on that one. Autumn Cloud picks up the kill onto the up clouds. Now the inner to top lane turret gonna go down. Meanwhile, Django doing what he did last game, just split pushing, but now now into the bot lane. I think he was in the bot lane last time too, so that's still status quo. And 11-0 right now. McMaster, they have 4 objectives, 4 turrets, 5 if you count the dragon. Dear Sandy, he gets caught, he gets killed.
My goodness.
You can't do that around a knife cat, which is how life
He's got
works.
240 AD, Fekez.
Yeah,
disgusting.
That's
Han Solo, capable of just about Han Soloing anyone in the game right now. Andy did not respect these impeccable fresh hooks. One True Berry, unsung hero, great Janna mechanics, of course, really good Thresh ones as well, as we've been seeing. That's going to be the first inhibitor of the game going down at 19 minutes with a 12-0 score. McMaster are just firing on all cylinders. An incredibly dominant performance today.
Django may be in trouble. He missed flashes. He doesn't have the taunt. Up clouds. They're going to get University of Massachusetts Amherst their first kill of the game, going over to the ADC, the up cloud. So I guess I want to call it a bright spot, but I mean they still have a huge uphill battle. We all know that. Don't want to mince words. Don't want to split hairs here. Han Solo is going to be taking out the Krugs. As I said earlier, he does take them very quickly, hopping out of the bush, going back into the bush, hopping again, roaring them to death because even rocks are scared of Rengar.
Well, I mean, if I was a rock, I'd be pretty scared of a 502
Yeah.
Rengar. He actually just now completed his Dead Man's Plate, so I feel like that's a very well-named item when this strong of a Rengar picks it up. There's going to be a lot of dead men eating off of a lot of different plates out there. And he strapped them all to his body and is using them to pick up even more kills. So really dominant performance. You can see a couple of different things here. X-Tray, by far strongest champion, is Katarina. That's been banned every game. Rengar was banned in game 1, left open, and that's what happens.
Yeah. This is why Rengar was banned in the first game, and now after the curtain call and Feast coming out from, or Thrill of the Hunt, I actually think it's called. Big Thrill of the Hunt coming out from Rengar. Gonna take that inner mid lane turret. Meanwhile, Nito is actually the one split pushing this time around, focusing on that inner bot lane turret. Nobody there to stop him because you can't really split up against this team, this McMaster team. If you do, they're gonna pick you apart and kill you, similar to how they've done this entire game. And now Han Solo, 0-3-2 split push here. Han Solo and Nito in the bot lane.
Alright, well, do have to keep an eye on this defense. One of the ways that it's possible for University of Massachusetts Amherst to come back is by overextending, getting greedy on the dives. We'll have to see how well they execute this.
Wordy over half health down. His Gnar is no longer available. Used his big Gnar out ultimate as well. And now Han Solo, he's flashing in. Does he get the kill? He does with the red buff, and he is going to finally. He doesn't go down. The redemption, the Stand United, everything kept him alive. Ace in the hole, not going to be enough. I don't even know if he was the one that took it. He might have been. He has low health now, 603, I should say, and he's going to stay that way for now.
Yeah, he did actually take the ace in the hole, but man, redemption, what a great item, Fekez. Candidate for one of the best. I think Deathfire Grasp still up there is a pretty great item. Innervating Locket, but also redemption. You got to give some real credit to that one. And also, of course, the support player who pushed that button to use it. Very, very skillfully done. Han Solo survives through it all, overcomes adversity, and is now going to help his team continue on their way to victory. He won't help them with this Mountain Drake. They're capable of taking it on their own. And man, University of Massachusetts Amherst really just struggling to even just find more than that single kill.
Yeah, all they're kind of getting right now is CS from within their base. They can't leave the base too far out or else they'll die. Especially with Han Solo. With how powerful he is in Thrill of the Hunt, he can just sneak up on anybody. If you hear that growl, you immediately leave. And even if you do leave, he might still follow you. Who knows? But man, it's a very impressive play from McMaster. I don't know where this was in the beginning of the first game. As like I said, it seemed even game number 1, but I guess they just needed a second. Now X-Ray, he's gonna flash out of curtain call, but into some claws of a cat.
Wow. Oh my god. Alright, let's get a little bit silly, Fekez.
Yeah, let's do that.
Jeepers. This is, that's about the only, I was like, okay, what word can I use to describe this? I was like, nope, can't say that one, can't say that one. So it's about, I worked my way down the list.
Let's go to Jeepers. That's the best
I'm
one.
looking, man. 198 CS to 96. Flame horizoning his opposing jungler. So it's not just the kid champion kills that are coming hot and heavy. It's also the monster kills. Now bottom lane, we're starting to see that Frozen Mallet kick into high gear as Wordy is starting to maybe get his reaches spike where Gnar is going to do some damage. Now, Dearest Dandy's got a chance. Does he go in for the steal? Yes, he does, but can he get it?
He might die before he does, and then he does. I think the smite was thrown down, but it was a little too early. McMaster, they decided to take their attention off of Baron to disrupt his smite calculations. Ends up dying anyways. It was a valiant effort from Dearest Andy, but the Baron does go over to McMaster University.
All right, well, you got to give him a credit, valiant effort there. But much like, I don't know, I was trying to think of where I've heard the word valiant before. You remember that old comic sketch in the funny papers called Prince Valiant?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, well, that comic was canceled, and so was Dearest Andy's life. They both met a very untimely end. I don't know if you remember the end of that comic, but it looked a lot like what Dearest Andy just did. Heroic, yet ultimately futile.
Oh, okay.
I just remember reading the end of that. It was pretty bad.
I did not read the end of of it. I just remember it.
All right, well, here goes Wordy. He's trying to get in there. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his ultimate. So.
Oh, he does. He flashed in, though. I thought he did. I didn't even pay attention to the icon.
Yeah.
I guess he's just trying to get the scare.
I think he was hoping to force reactionary flashes,
yeah.
but he didn't have his ult up, so there's just really not a whole lot to really hope for there.
Oh, there's
Wordy gonna get the hook.
There's Stand United coming out from Django. Curtain Call does not take anyone down. It's only a matter of time before McMaster closes this out. Until then, it's just sort of a spectacle from Dearest Andy, who safeguards over the wall, gives them a wild goose chase here, but it's not going to be too long. And now Thrill the Hunt coming in. Who's he going to jump on? He's going to actually get knocked up by the tornado. Thrill the Hunt is such a long duration. He's able to use that for so long. Exhaust goes down on him. The Redemption is not able to save him. He finally goes down. The Up Clouds, 2 kills for his team so far. 2 of 2. And he has only died 2 times too, miraculously. Another thing, Wordy actually hasn't died any time. So, let's give credit where credit is due. Now, Clouds, despite having a Rengar, a Fed Rengar on the opposite team, he's actually stayed alive quite a long time.
Well, there's that Gnarl. Does get 2 with it. Maybe Django going down here, barely able to get out alive. Wordy not quite so lucky. He'll fall. Autumn Clouds there. The strong get stronger. Dearest Andy will not let Django get out alive. He'll take him down for the 3rd kill of the game. However, it comes at a very high price, and that's going to be even more kills going the way of McMaster.
Oh, Nito finally goes down as well. That's 2 kills for Dearest Andy within a matter of a few minutes here. Autumn Cloud throws out the curtain call, but C6 Train heads out of there immediately. So damage done to the base. The middle lane inhibitor is still up, though.
I think he was afraid it was going to be his curtain call there. He's like, wait a second. I have actually 2 hit points and I'm standing right in the middle of the enemy base. Probably better to get out of there. Discretion, the better part of Valor. Also Quinn, the better part of Valor there, depending on how good you are at using that. But either way, a great disengage there. A little sloppy, especially from Han Solo getting caught out underneath the turret when he had the ability to remove the crowd control by using that empowered battle roar. He didn't. And it wound up going down for it. So not even Redemption could have saved him then. And even another thing to mention, he's going that hard in the paint to try to get a kill. and it wasn't on a Gnar, but now he's going to go in on a Caitlyn. I think we all know how that's going to go. What?
The Up Clouds survived that. Hold on. That was actually really interesting. Hold on. Ace in the hole coming out, but I think Han Solo is getting a kick back into University of Massachusetts team and actually does go down. The Up Clouds picking off that one because he has great positioning this entire time. That is a double kill for Django overall, though. He is going to go down. The Up Clouds, is he going to pick this one up or is anyone going to pick it up? There it is. Built over Peacemaker. Picking up that kill for the Up Clouds. That's 4 kills now. And that's where McMaster, that's what, I mean, if this were solo queue, that's an easy throw. We'll see how the University of Massachusetts can capitalize on this sort of thing, if there is any capitalization to come from it. But tactics like that, they're funny, they're cocky, but they don't really do your team well, and that just delays the end of the game just that much more, which gives University of Massachusetts that much more time to, I won't say catch up, but even out the power structure here.
Yeah, this game looks a whole lot more like mustard than ketchup. It might look like it's getting closer, but it's still an overwhelming advantage. Over 10,000 gold in McMaster University's favor. So still strong favorites, but game not over yet. So we'll keep an eye on things as now McMaster decides to stop pushing deeply into the base and sort of, back on out, take some objectives and do things the slow and steady way. They have taken down all 3 inhibitors, so that makes it more like a 7 versus 5. That's another one of my LS-isms, so big thanks to him for pointing out that it really does make it like you're fighting against 2 extra champions on the enemy team because of this double super minions pushing in. This is going to be a Realm War bumper to the top lane!
Oh, the Up Clouds, he does not survive that one. Nito putting himself in a great position. Trap's not going to be enough, so now it is a 5v4, and I think this is finally going to be it, Rapid. I believe McMaster will finally close this one out.
Well, there's no AD carry there for University of Massachusetts Amherst, but we might have some signs of life there from Wordy. Tries to go in with Big Gnarl. It's not going to pay off.
Now, they have 3 super minions, super minions, I should say. This is not Fallout. Super minions in the base. Nexus turrets go down simultaneously. now. They're just trying to patent the KDAs right now. Get the records going a little bit of a buff here. But the Nexus is slowly going down. Dearest Andy, he gets locked down. Autumn Cloud's picking up that kill, I should say. Han Solo not able to pick up the kill onto Wordy before the Nexus goes down. And that is game number 2 concluding, I should say, this best of 3 series.
Yeah, 23-6, the final score here. And when the abbreviation for your team is MCM, you better be looking good. And they are. McMaster University cruised to a 2-0 victory over University of Massachusetts Amherst. And that is going to put them up close to the top, or at least at the top of their standings in their bracket. So I got to say, might have been the favorites coming into today's games, but certainly some signs of life there. University of Massachusetts put up a pretty good fight in game number 1, but looks like they just either got fatigued or kind of crushed underneath the dominant beating that they took in game 1, and just never looked really the same after that. So congratulations, McMaster, pulling out the 2-0 win.
Yeah, starting their season at 1-0 right now in the East 4 division, so congratulations to them. But that is going to wrap it up for this broadcast. We actually have another one coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes. You can see on the screen right now, Oregon State University versus California State University Los Angeles. My name is Joshua Fekes Quest here with Reed Rapid Melton. I'm going to give one more shout out to our sponsors.
Oh boy.
Oh, hey, this is great.
My favorite part.
It is my favorite part because the reason why we're here. One of the reasons why, of course, this is the ULoL campus series, so Riot is also a huge benefactor here, so thank you very much, Riot. But also, Asus, they are back with the CSL. We are very happy. They do provide some of the world's best gaming peripherals, and, of course, graphic cards, motherboards, things like that. Do want to give a great shout out to Asus. Thank you very much for supporting us.
Yeah, super hashtag big fan of those guys. And of course, Band Gaming coming back for another season. It's a social gaming app. You can check it out, hang out with your friends, do calls, coordination, everything you need. You can check out over at Band Gaming. Do, of course, thank them for coming back again. And of course, twitch.tv, the station, the channel, the website you're watching on right now. Twitch.tv/CStarLeague. We are getting things set up so that as we do move forward in this ULoL Campus Series season, you can find all of your updates, not only just here on our Twitch TV channel. You know, thank them for providing this for us, but also on other Collegiate Star League social media. It's going to be twitter.com/CStarLeague, also twitter.com/CSLLOL. If you want more updates on specifically League of Legends, and of course facebook.com. It's going to be Collegiate Star League on there as well. There's also a YouTube channel. You can find all of the special features that we're going to be putting out about our CSL esports. And if you'd like full updates on schedules, brackets, teams, players, all that shenaniganry, you can head on over to cstarleague.com, where you can check out not only your team or your school's teams, but also everyone else, see exactly how these schedules are working out. So I think that is going to do it for today, Fekes.
Yep, so like, share, subscribe, follow, do everything you can that social media requires to follow and keep up with the ULoL Campus Series. Once again, my name is Joshua Fekes Quest here with Reed Rapid Melton. Thank you for joining me, Reed, all the way from Korea. I think it was like 9 a.m. there, 10 a.m. up there?
It's actually 10:44 a.m. More importantly, it's about -9 degrees here. So you guys have a warm fireplace out there. You can wave your hands at it, send some more of that heat over my way. I would appreciate that. Of course, also appreciate your thoughts and comments. If you have anything that you would like to add, either to myself or to Fekes, you can head on over to Twitter and do so at RapidCasting or at PHEQES. Let us know what you thought about today's broadcast.
Please do, and stick around for Oregon State versus California State University Los Angeles. Again, signing off. Have a great night, and thank you for joining us for game number 1 tonight.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.